Chapter 41 This Reward. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ouch! Roar! Suddenly, a chorus of wolf howls and tiger roars ripped through the air. Instantly, Xiao Haizi and Qi Yanhu shot towards those outsiders. The people in the city watched, hearts pounding. They just heard Yunyi was going to let these bandits go. They wanted to speak out against it. After all, these guys were responsible for so much misery. Letting them go was like releasing a tiger back into the wild, just asking for trouble. But, it was Yunyi's decision. Without him, they'd all be dead. They had to respect the city lord's call. They had to stand by and watch these bandits walk free. But now, seeing Xiao Haizi and Qi Yanhu charging at them, everything changed. Clearly, City Lord Yi wasn't letting them off the hook so easily. At the same time, they tensed up, ready for anything. These bandits weren't pushovers, and now they were desperate. If they tried to fight back, they needed to be ready to intervene. The bandits, who were just celebrating their escape, were instantly hit with dread. The grins wiped off their faces when they heard the wolves and tigers behind them. They whirled around and saw Xiao Haizi and Qi Yanhu bearing down on them. Then, the red flame tiger's jaws opened wide, revealing rows of teeth. Crunch! Snap! The sound of flesh tearing and bones breaking echoed through the air. It was terrifying. The red flame tiger snapped up one guy in its jaws. Meanwhile, Xiao Haizi had become a blur of black fur. Darting through the crowd of bandits. Claws flashed. Slicing through the air. The air cracked. One swipe. Tore a bandit apart. Then on to the next. He's killing us, that one bandit finally reacted. His eyes bloodshot with rage. Yunyi. After using them as pack mules to haul stuff back, he was now slaughtering them. He never intended to let them go in the first place. So cold-blooded. A classic case of using someone until they're no longer needed. He was furious. He screamed, trying to rally the others, to form a line and fight back against Qi Yanhu and Xiao Haizi. But he quickly realized it was useless, completely useless. Everyone had already scattered. They weren't listening. After all, they were facing two golden core beasts. Nobody in their right mind would take that head-on. After that, screams filled the air. It was like Qi Yanhu and Xiao Haizi were competing. Both were frantically hunting down the remaining bandits. Boom! With a final thud. The last bandit was flung into the air, then crashed to the ground. That was it. All the bandits were dead at the claws and teeth of the red flame tiger. The stench of blood hung thick in the air. Corpses littered the ground, and rivers of blood flowed. The people watching from the city were stunned, a few breaths. And these bandits had been torn apart by two monsters. Incredible. Unbelievably powerful. And Yunyi, the city lord and master of these beasts, was the most powerful of them all. Qi Yanhu began feasting on the corpses, crunch, crunch, crunch. The bandits' bones were like potato chips under the tiger's teeth. It devoured them happily. Then it looked at Xiao Haizi. Seeing that Xiao Haizi wasn't eating, it nudged a corpse toward Xiao Haizi, making it clear, have a taste. Xiao Haizi looked at the body in front of him, and then at Yunyi. Yunyi walked over to them. He pulled out the god-level pet food, giving some to Xiao Haizi, and some to Qi Yanhu. Xiao Haizi went wild when he saw the food and started gobbling it down. Qi Yanhu eyed the unfamiliar food with suspicion. Its look seemed to say, "What the heck is this?" Still enjoying the corpse, Yunyi looked at Qi Yanhu, helpless. This guy just didn't know a good thing when he saw it. Like casting pearls before swine. Xiao Haizi, on the other hand, was like a kid in a candy store. After a while, Qi Yanhu saw how much Xiao Haizi was enjoying the food. And it was curious. It cautiously approached the food and tasted it, instantly. Its tiger eyes widened. Then it began eating with gusto. Gradually, Yunyi noticed the red flame tiger's fur growing thicker and longer. Its body seemed bigger. And its color shifted from orange to a deep red. While its level hadn't increased, its strength had obviously improved. This god-level pet food was definitely the real deal. Alright, everyone, let's clean up and store all these supplies. At Yunyi's command, everyone went to work. They were hauling supplies like crazy. Until the blood moon rose, they'd finally finished cleaning up. That night, Yunyi continued to hang lanterns and decorations, but this time, it was even more lavish. After all, they'd just plundered so much stuff. Back at Yunyi's villa, he selected several of the exotic animal hide armors and brought them inside. The fox skin was the headliner. Several girls were watching, their hands stroked the fur, so soft. They loved it. And they loved all the other luxurious furnishings. The guests were stunned by the display of wealth. This was the definition of luxury. Man, I really envy City Lord Yi. If you're strong enough, you can have it. Yeah, but I'm not. Can't I be jealous? Then we can only be envious. Come on, drink up. The crowd cheered and the guests drank. They were so happy. They'd gotten their hands on a bunch of new weapons. They were going to enjoy dinner and celebrate tonight. And test out the new weapons tomorrow. The happiest person was Lao Zhang too. Tonight was his daughter's turn. Many people were toasting him, their faces all smiles. Congratulations, Lao Zhang. We're all counting on you. Cheers, brother Zhang. Voices rang out. After the party broke up, Yunyi carried his beauty into the room. Zhou Huaiwei had become clever. She went straight to Bai Zhishi's room and snuggled up with her. Bai Zhishi. Oh, boy. She started to think back. Had she been too loud the other day? Could it be that Zhou Huaiwei heard everything? Thinking about it, she couldn't remember a thing. Who could remember something like that in the moment? She blushed. Time to sleep. The next morning, Yunyi woke up and looked at the beauty next to him. Then, a screen appeared in front of him. Chapter 42 King Kong is indestructible. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Congratulations. You snagged yourself a wife and unlocked indestructible skill level 1. Yunyi stared at the notification, dumbfounded. What the heck is this? King Kong indestructible. Seriously? Suddenly, he felt a surge of power coursing through him. He clenched his fist, then ran his other hand over his bicep, rock solid. Like steel. He walked outside, grabbed his battle axe, and swung it at his arm. It rang out like metal hitting metal. Yunyi checked the notification again. Name, Yunyi. Height, 6 feet 1 inch. Level, mid-golden stage. Skills, rapid absorption, god-level hunting, Joyo Chi stage 2, god-level movement, indestructible Vajra stage 1. Weapon, level 1 tomahawk. Items, 19 divine beast control pills. Sweet. This is a total upgrade. And it's not just his arms. Then another notification popped up. Congrats. Wife is pregnant. Rewarded with god-level alchemy. Huh. Now this is getting interesting. Alchemy? Seriously? How does that even work? Yunyi checked the skill description in the notification. Basically, you combine crystal cores from mutated plants and beasts with other ingredients. The resulting potions can boost your strength, heal you, and more. But for a straight-up power boost, the refined medicine is way more potent than just eating a crystal core, and for most people, who can't instantly absorb energy like Yunyi, the potions allow them to absorb the crystal core's energy quickly. That's huge. Of course, it's good for Yunyi too. Suddenly, a flood of information filled his mind. Recipes. Specific instructions. Instantly, Yunyi was a master alchemist. He figured there was no point in making potions from low-level crystal cores. He'd try it out with some mid to high-level stuff. With that, Yunyi headed downstairs. Bai Zhishi, watching him descend with a bounce in his step, leaned over to Zhou Huaiwei and whispered, "Zhou, do you think he's using me to steal my youth?" He comes down looking like he's been reborn, Zhou Huaiwei. Maybe she's right. Before she could answer, Yunyi walked over, he sidled up to Bai Jishi and playfully squeezed her waist. She shivered, then looked up at him, a little guilty. What were you saying about me? Yunyi smirked. Bai Jishi blushed. Nothing. You think I can't hear you? Don't worry, I'll show you how wrong you are. He scooped her up and tossed her over his shoulder, heading back upstairs. Her struggles were futile. Later that afternoon, Yunyi came downstairs with Bai Jishi. The others exchanged knowing glances. Only Bai Jishi, a superpowered human, could take that kind of beating. They'd have tapped out hours ago. Let's go. We're gonna raid the resource stash and pick out some stuff. I need to run some experiments. Yunyi said to Bai Jishi. She sighed. She was exhausted, like she'd just gone 10 rounds with a monster. But what could she do? She followed him. Yunyi and Bai Jishi rode the wind-chasing leopard back to where they'd stored the loot. Walking inside, even though she'd seen it yesterday, Bai Jishi was still blown away by the sheer volume of stuff. There was just so much of it. Yunyi started rummaging around, following the recipes in his head. He carefully selected different mutated plants and materials. After a while, he had a pile. He turned to Bai Jishi. Honey, what are you gonna do with all this? She asked, puzzled. What could he possibly make with this random assortment of ingredients? Yunyi patted her head. Alchemy, ever heard of it? Bai Jishi's eyes widened. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Alchemy. That's a thing. After the apocalypse, some people had figured out that combining mutated plants and crystal cores could create potent medicines. These medicines had all sorts of effects. And could even boost your strength. Speed up absorption. It was awesome stuff. But in the wasteland, it came at a huge cost. First, you had to experiment with different combinations of plants and crystal cores. Plus, there were all sorts of other details you had to master. Most attempts ended in disaster. You could only find alchemists in the biggest fortresses, and even then. They were prized resources. Everyone wanted them. She started to object, but then she looked at Yunyi, full of energy. She thought back to what happened earlier. She decided to keep her mouth shut, otherwise, she might end up crippled, even as a silver-tier late-stage mutant. Okay, that should do it. After a while, Yunyi had collected the ingredients for several different potions. He and Bai Jishi headed back home. He grabbed the carcass of a King Kong ant. Cut it open, and used it as a giant cauldron. Then he got to work. Zhou Huaiwei and the others watched Yunyi as he tinkered away. They started asking questions. I'm making medicine. Alchemy. They were shocked. They gathered around like curious children, eager to watch the fun. Bai Jishi, seeing the expressions on her friends' faces, face-bombed. What a waste of resources. Such a waste. Wasn't this just ridiculous? Her husband wasn't an alchemist, so how could he possibly get it right on the first try? She glanced at the mutated plants and crystal cores in her hands, a sense of loss washing over her. This stuff was gonna be ruined. With a sigh, she put her stuff down and went back inside. She couldn't bear to watch the destruction. Outside, after a while, Yunyi started the refining process. Zhou Huaiwei and the others watched intently, offering small favors and words of encouragement. Their eyes shone with anticipation. Hours passed. Bai Jishi, still inside, was about to head downstairs and check on him. She hadn't finished practicing yet, which meant he had probably messed up. She wanted to go down and comfort him. She opened the door. And a strange fragrance hit her. Her eyes widened. She raced towards the yard. Chapter 43. This medicine is so powerful. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Down below, Zhou Huaiwei and the others were watching too. A strange aroma filled the air. Everyone stared, curiosity blazing in their eyes. This stuff was something else, something magical. Did it really smell that good? Yunyi eyed the massive ant-forged cauldron. Inside, he could see the signs. It was definitely working. He watched as Baiji River rushed down, a look of pure shock on her face. Yunyi lifted the lid, whoosh. A wave of fragrance exploded. Baiji River gasped, eyes wide with disbelief. Holy cow, she said. Medicinal mud, for real. You actually made medicine. She looked at Yunyi, practically starstruck. Is it possible to be this talented? First time making medicine, and it works. Yunyi scooped out a bit of the paste and tasted it. Instantly, a surge of power coursed through him, like a river unleashed. This medicine was way more potent, and smoother, than just absorbing a crystal core. He rolled some of the paste into a large pill and, approaching the stunned Baiji River, popped it into her mouth. Gulp, that she swallowed. A tremor went through her, and she closed her eyes. A moment later, Baijishi opened them, staring at Yunyi with utter amazement. Honey, I think I just had a breakthrough. To demonstrate, she punched the air. Boom, starred at a sonic boom ripped through the room. Baijishi was floored. Is this the power of early-stage gold? She was beyond excited. Yunyi hadn't expected it to be this effective. He glanced at the others, seeing their barely contained eagerness. Don't even think about it, he warned. You'll explode if you try it now. He saw Zhou Huiwei and the crew pouting. Alright, come on, let's roll some pills. The others surged forward, and soon they were kneading pills under his direction. Yunyi, striking while the iron was hot, dove back into refining. That day, he churned out batch after batch of medicine, strength enhancers, healing remedies. He even made some liquid concoctions for topical use. He covered all the bases. Then, he raided the crystal core warehouse, grabbing every high-level core he could find. Next, quick absorption. He paired it with a bottle of his strongest medicine. A strange sensation built within him, like rivers swelling and surging, battering against a dam. Boom, a soft sound echoed within his body. He felt the power surging through him, and he was stunned. Time for the status screen. Name, Yunyi. Height, 6 feet 1 inch. Level, late golden stage. Skills, rapid absorption. God-level hunting skills, second stage of Joyo Chi. God-level movement, first stage of indestructible Vajra. Weapon, tomahawk. Level 1. Props, 19 divine beast control pills, late stage gold. One step closer to early diamond. Gold, diamond, star, king level. Yunyi figured being close to diamond level put him in the upper echelon of the apocalypse. As his level increased, he re-evaluated the crystal core library. The cores here might not do much for him now, but they were still useful. The medicine that didn't drastically improve strength. He decided to distribute it. That night, Yunyi threw another feast. Old Zhang too had become the neighborhood big shot. Brother Zhang, come on, let me toast you. Let's drink. A girl approached. It was none other than Zhangto's daughter. Dad, you've had enough, she chided. Everyone stared at the girl, stunned. They'd seen her before, just a kid, but now, she had a presence. Feminine, even. Bold Zhang too beamed, especially at what she was wearing, clothes sewn from the furs of exotic beasts. High-end stuff. Okay, I'll listen to you. No more for me. He chuckled and set down his glass. That's the way. She handed him a small box. Zhang tu looked at the box. What was this? The others craned their necks. Lao Zhang opened it. A strange fragrance wafted out, invigorating and refreshing. This had to be good stuff. What is it? He asked. My husband asked me to give it to you. He said it was a medicine he refined. It should improve your strength. Everyone gasped. This was medicine refined by Lord Yi himself. And it boosted strength. Their eyes swiveled to Zhang tu, green with envy. They hated that they didn't have a beautiful daughter. Zhang tu popped one into his mouth and swallowed. A moment later, he opened his eyes, a spark lighting within them. I think I just broke through to silver level. What? Everyone's jaw dropped. One pill turned old Zhang from late bronze to early silver. Was it really that potent? The envy intensified. Meanwhile, at the banquet, other girls were giving medicine to their fathers, soon, everyone knew, but what could they do? They could only watch. The banquet ended. Yunyi, with a girl in his arms, headed upstairs. As he walked, he thought, tomorrow, we'll have the blonde beauty's wedding. After all, those bandits were right, not my family, its heart must be different, that she needed to be broken. Besides, Yunyi was curious about the differences between a blonde and an oriental beauty. Time for some experimentation. And if she really was something special, maybe he could learn some barbarian skills to control them. Lost in thought, Yunyi carried the girl into the room. A tap of his foot, and the door slammed shut. Chapter 44 Rewards are issued again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, Yunyi woke up. He looked over at the girl beside him. She was still sound asleep, curled up like a kitten. Guess I wore her out last night. Just then, a notification popped up in front of him. Congratulations to the host for successfully getting hitched. Rewarded with indestructible vitra, Stage 2. Stage 2. Damn, that's intense. Alright. Another notification popped up. Congratulations to the host's wife on her successful pregnancy. Rewarded with 10 god-tier dead soldier puppets. Dead soldier puppets? What are those? Dead soldier puppet, a puppet without self-awareness, completely obedient to the host's commands. The puppet's strength is linked to the host. This could be useful. Yunyi immediately pulled up his stats panel. Name, Yunyi. Height, 6 feet 1 inch. Level, late golden stage. Skills, rapid absorption. God-tier hunting skills, Joyo Chi. Stage 2, God-tier movement, indestructible vitra. Stage 2. Weapon, tomahawk level 1. Items, 19 god-tier alien beast control pills, 10 dead soldier puppets. A little later, Yunyi headed downstairs, feeling energized. Bai Jishi was already watching him. He remembered she'd mentioned using him to absorb yang and replenish yin, and she was still giving him that look. Guess she wanted to double-check. Guess once wasn't enough. So, now that you're in the early golden stage, are you stronger in bed? Yunyi asked Bai Jishi. Bai Jishi, eating breakfast, retorted, yes, the early golden stage is way stronger than the late silver stage. Want to put that to the test? Bai Jishi. Huh? Test what? Then, it clicked for Bai Jishi. Oh, that's what he meant by strength. Her face instantly flushed, saying stuff like that in broad daylight. Zhou Huiwei, smiling knowingly, chimed in, well, Sister Bai's different from us. She's a serious and powerful fighter. Her combat skills must be on another level. Yunyi eyed them. Ever heard of 3 heroes taking on Lu Bu? You guys can join in. Everyone went silent. What could they even say? Too risky. Way too risky. I surrender. I surrender. Zhou Huiwei was the first to throw in the towel, then she glanced at her stomach. She was due for her period, but it hadn't arrived. She had a sneaking suspicion, too. But it wasn't confirmed yet, so she'd wait and see. Yunyi stopped teasing them. He headed straight to where Xiao Haizi had been staying. Time to deploy the puppets. Instantly, several cloaked figures appeared before him. They looked like regular people, but all wore cloaks and masks. Yunyi examined them. Notifications popped up above their heads. Dead soldier puppet. Strength, early golden stage. 10 early golden stage puppets. Turn around. Yunyi commanded, and they turned. He focused his thoughts and controlled them. They turned again. Nice. Looks like they're really bound to me. Alright, alright. Yunyi ordered them to spread out and patrol the barriers, keeping a sharp lookout for danger. Meanwhile, down at the coastal barriers, Dongfang Ruoyu was counting the crystal cores collected the previous day. A female fighter ran up to her. City Lord. We've got news. She looked shocked and anxious, handing Dongfang Ruoyu the message. Dongfang Ruoyu looked at her, puzzled. What could be so urgent? She opened it and read. At first, she frowned, but gradually, shock spread across her face. Finally, her delicate body trembled, her expression completely incredulous. What was she seeing? Yunyi. One guy. Taking down the mighty barrier. Wiping out the bandits. Looting everything. This barrier had fighters. And they're powerful and ruthless. But Yunyi took care of everything, all by himself. Did this mean Nebula Barrier was now the strongest of the small barriers? And it had the most resources? Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. No wonder Bai Jishi not only gave up her position but also fell for him. How could anyone not fall for a man like that? Well, now I don't have to worry about Nebula Barrier's crystal core quota. It's not even close. Dongfang Ruoyu sighed. She could only hope the people from the Exorcist Society who came to collect the crystal cores would be delayed. At the same time, the other small barriers were receiving the same news. They were all stunned and relieved. The mighty barrier had been like a sword hanging over their heads. Ready to fall at any moment. Now that Yunyi had wiped it out, they no longer had to fear the barrier's raids. It was unbelievable. Back at Yunyi's villa, he was feeding Qi Yanhu and Xiao Haizi god-tier animal food. Xiao Haizi gobbled it down. The red flame tiger was a so-so. Ever since it had tasted god-tier animal food, it had lost its appetite for flesh and blood. Yunyi glanced at the tiger, his taste had evolved. But he had to admit, ever since the animal had started eating god-tier food, it had grown much bigger and its fur was gleaming. Looking handsome as hell. Eat up. Eat up. Yunyi crouched down. Get fatter, and we'll have more meat for Chinese New Year. Qi Yanhu shivered at those words. It looked at Yunyi, terrified, but then, it paused. A crackling sound echoed inside its body. It grew again. Its fur turned dark red. The red flame tiger roared to the sky. The tiger's roar shook the heavens. Oh. Yunyi examined the red flame tiger, sensing its power, and was surprised. Wasn't this thing capped at the early golden stage? Now it had broken through to the golden stage. Guess that god-tier animal food was the real deal. Or maybe he just scared it into leveling up. Either way, it was a good thing. Alright, just so happens I don't have a decent spiritual plant for making medicine right now. When you're back on your feet, you and I can go look for one in the jungle. You should know where to find some. As Yunyi spoke, Qi Yanhu roared in response. Showing that it understood. Okay, in that case, I'll reconsider eating you during Chinese New Year. Yunyi said. Then, the deputy general rushed in. City Lord. City Lord, P.S. Thank you all for your monthly votes and recommended votes, and thank you Tiantiankian_DB for your 688 reward. There are still updates today, and now there are at least 3 or 4 updates every day, so that members can be worth their money. Please vote for me, recommend votes, and give rewards. Thank you for your great support. Chapter 45 Arrogant in front of me. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yunyi glanced at the deputy general rushing in. What's the deal? City Lord, a young guy and a girl just showed up outside the barrier. They're riding those late silver mounts. Claim they're with the Exorcist Society. Looking for you. I've put them up in the reception room. Exorcists huh. Yunyi thought back to what Dongfang Ruoyu had said at the seaside barrier. So, this Exorcist Society is here for the crystal core, right? Is this about protection money? Interesting. Guess he's got exorcist protection now. Standing next to him, Bai Jishi frowned. Having heard everything, she recalled Dongfang Ruoyu's warning. The Exorcist Society has some seriously powerful people. Their leader is a diamond-level powerhouse. Even with her now at the gold level, the gap between her and diamond was enormous. Honey, what do we do? Bai Jishi whispered to Yunyi. Zhou Huiwei and the others sensed the tension and came over. They knew they might not be able to do much, but they had Yunyi's back, no matter what. Yunyi considered by Jishi's question, what to do. Go hard. He was gold level now. Plus his god level hunting skills. And the Joyo energy. God level agility. And invulnerability. He wasn't afraid of some diamond level chump. Especially not these two flunkies. Alright, you guys chill at home. I'll go take a look. Yunyi said, then tossed the red flame tiger some more god-level animal feed. The big cat had just reached mid-gold, after all, and needed to keep his strength up. Let's go. Yunyi nodded to the lieutenant and headed out. Meanwhile, on the nebula barrier's main drag, a man and a woman, riding a late silver earth bear, ambled along. The guy looked around at the nebula barrier and scoffed. His eyes were full of contempt. He looked at the survivors and aliens milling about the city. Like they were garbage. This place is a dump compared to our blue and white barrier. The woman said, equally disgusted. She turned to the local leading the way. Where's your city lord? She snapped. The city lord should be on his way. I'm taking you to the living room first. He should be there shortly. Seeing they weren't exactly friendly, the guide tried to be polite. Their mounts were top tier, 2 late silver mounts. Sure, the city lord's was better, but these were still crazy impressive. Huh. The woman frowned at his words. They were here on orders from their leader to collect. The Exorcist Society was powerful, and their leader came from outside the blue and white barrier, even more powerful, at the diamond level. Plus, there'd been rumors, so, at the other fortresses, the city lords had either been waiting for them or had rushed to greet them. This one dared to show up late. Did he even take them seriously? The young man's face darkened as he listened. He said nothing and kept walking forward. Something felt wrong. He spun around, but he didn't see anything. What's up, bro? The woman asked. Seeing his move, the guy scanned the area, making sure nobody was watching him. I felt like someone was staring at me since we got inside the barrier, but I can't spot them. Maybe I'm imagining things. Or maybe there's some real muscle in this dump. Ha! The woman laughed, relaxed. You're imagining it. The word is the city lords of the places we're hitting are silver-level scrubs. Not to mention the strength of the other weirdos in their barriers. We're early gold level. Don't worry. The young man nodded, reassured. True, still, he didn't like this place. Later, they could jack up the crystal core demand. These yokels needed to learn a lesson. They reached the living room. The guide showed them to their seats, then went to get tea. Don't bother. The young man stopped the guide, who was about to pour. No tea. We'll wait for your city lord to pour it for us. But the guide frowned, then backed off. These two were trouble. And super entitled, who peed in their Cheerios. He'd have to fill the city lord in later. He waited outside. Soon, he saw Yunyi and the deputy general coming over. Yunyi strolled along. The guide hurried up to him. He explained what had just happened. The deputy general was furious. What a pair of jerks. Yunyi just said, I got it. Then headed inside. Yunyi looked them over. The woman was dressed to the nines, looking around with disgust, like she hated everything. Scared of getting germs, she stared at Yunyi, surprised. Maybe she hadn't expected the Nebula Barrier's city lord to be so young, but then her haughty expression returned. Yunyi also checked out the young man, eyes closed, all zen, sitting there like he owned the place. Didn't even open his eyes when Yunyi came in. Some nerve. He tapped his fingers on the table to get attention. Next to his finger was an empty teacup. The teapot wasn't far away. The message was clear. He wanted Yunyi to pour him tea. Yunyi slowly walked over, picked up the teacup. Humph. The young man heard the teacup being lifted, smiled, and snorted softly, but then he didn't hear any tea being poured. He just heard Yunyi walking away. Huh. He snapped open his eyes, glared at Yunyi. Yunyi was already sitting down. Laid back. Not even looking at them. Instead, pouring himself some tea. Taking a sip. Enjoying it. Chapter 46 Blow Your Head Off. You are listening at novelfull.audio. You. The young man's eyes went wide for a second, like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. This guy, total lack of respect. Didn't even offer him tea. Did he even register on this guy's radar? Did he even care about the Exorcism Council? Or its leader? It was the opposite of respect. The woman watching this scene was fuming. He's asking for it. Yunyi took a sip of his tea and set down the cup, then he looked at them and said, "So, what brings you to my nebula barrier?" That the young man tossed a piece of paper at Yunyi. Yunyi caught it and unfolded it. His eyes narrowed as he read. It was a list of the crystal cores they were demanding. Hundreds of silver-level cores alone. Plus a bunch of bronze ones. That was a huge number of cores for a small barrier. Enough to bankrupt any little operation. The young man looked at Yunyi and said, "We're increasing your barrier's crystal core contribution by 20%. Deliver it to the Exorcism Council in 5 days." That was it. A flat-out demand. No room for argument. The woman glanced at the young man. Her senior brother was really steamed. Adding 20% on top of everything. He'd make this guy pay for the disrespect. If he failed to deliver, the Exorcism Council would deal with him. He'd cease to exist. Yunyi listened, folded the paper, and put it on the table. "What if I don't?" That the young man and the woman were stunned. They stared at Yunyi, speechless. This guy, did he just say that? He dared to refuse. They'd visited other barriers before coming to Nebula. The city lords were always respectful. And they always delivered on time. This one was a rebel, plain and simple. The young man slammed the table. His power exploded. Boom. The table splintered. Sawdust flew everywhere. He glared at Yunyi. "You're picking a fight. How dare you question my 20% increase?" Pure rage. The young man looked like a lion ready to pounce on Yunyi and rip him to shreds. The woman clenched her fists, her eyes turning murderous. Yunyi didn't even flinch when the table exploded. He looked at the two of them calmly. No, you misunderstand." "Misunderstand?" The young man scoffed. He was going to do it the hard way. He'd seen him smash the table, he knew his power, so he was trying to backpedal now. He should have been respectful from the start. It'd save him a lot of trouble. But there would still be a price to pay. "We're raising the increase from 20% to 40%. The young man started to speak, but before he could finish, Yunyi cut him off. "What I mean is, I'm not handing over anything." He tore the note in his hand. Then he folded it up. Tore it again. He threw it into the air like trash. The two of them were stunned for a second. Then their eyes met. They were furious. "You wanna die?" That the young man lost it. He took one step. The ground cracked beneath his feet. He shot towards Yunyi like a cannonball. Whoosh! The sound of wind ripping came. He reached Yunyi. He made a fist. A punch fueled by rage. Ready to connect. Crack. A sonic boom. He went to punch. But then. His punch landed on nothing. He hit the air. Where'd Yunyi go? Just as the young man was looking at the empty space in front of him, confused, a voice came from behind him. "You're too slow." That the young man spun around, and in that moment, he saw a slap coming towards his face. It felt like a train was about to plow into his head. In that moment, he was disoriented. Then he was lifted off the ground, flying backward. At that moment, outside, the lieutenant and the foreigner heard the table explode. They both tightened up. "Where do these two come from?" the lieutenant asked the foreigner. After all, she was the one who brought them to Yunyi. The foreigner thought for a second. "From what I could gather, they're powerful. They collect crystal cores from the smaller barriers. And they seemed pretty unhappy with Lord Yi. They were complaining the whole way. Powerful. Unhappy. Now there was a massive crash inside. Were they already ganging up on him? Was City Lord Yi getting beat up? The lieutenant's mouth twitched. Yunyi saved Nebula countless times. He was incredibly popular with the citizens. They couldn't just stand by and do nothing. Even if they died, they couldn't let the City Lord be humiliated. Let's go. We have to help. The lieutenant nodded and followed him to the living room. But in that moment, boom! A huge explosion erupted from the living room. Then they saw a figure flying backward like a cannonball. It was the young man. The two lieutenants gaped. Blood shot from his mouth. Then he flew over 10 meters and crashed. Skipped along the ground. Finally stopped after dozens of meters. The lieutenant and the foreigner stared, jaws dropped. What just happened? They looked at the young man in the distance. He grabbed the ground with his head. Then slowly stood up. His face was swollen like a balloon. Blood poured from his mouth and nose. His eyes were red and bloodshot. In that moment, they saw a blur. A black shadow rushed past them. It was Yunyi. With a dodge, Yunyi was on the young man. And threw a punch. Exactly the same as the young man's before. Watching the fist coming, the young man's eyes went wide. How dare you? He roared. Yunyi's fist connected with the young man's head. In that moment, the young man's head deformed violently. Then it exploded. Bang! Red and white matter splattered everywhere. The air filled with the heavy stench of blood. Chapter 47. Too cruel. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For a split second, the deputy general and the stranger stared, eyes wide, disbelieving what they were seeing. The city lord. This is brutal. He just punched the guy in the head. Boom! A sickening thud, the young man's body crumpled to the ground. Lifeless. Just then, the woman from the living room rushed out, ready to back him up. She froze at the bloody scene. Paralyzed, she didn't know what to do. Then, she watched, horrified, as Yunyi slowly turned. He stared at her. His gaze sent shivers down her spine. Run. The thought flashed through her mind. She bolted, managing a few steps before, a shadow loomed before her. Yunyi. He stood between her and escape. Her legs turned to jelly, and she collapsed to her knees. Spare me. We were just sent to collect the crystal core by our boss. This wasn't my idea. Hearing her plea, remembering her earlier arrogance, Yunyi scoffed. The sound sliced through her like an ice pick. She looked up at Yunyi, a decision hardening in her heart. If you spare me, I'll do anything for you. I'll be your slave. I'll follow you anywhere. I can. Before she could finish, Yunyi grabbed her by the neck and hauled her up. Terror filled her eyes. Snap. The sound of cracking bone. Yunyi snapped her neck. He tossed her aside. Look at you. Yunyi muttered, disgusted. If she was at least attractive. But no. Flat as a board. What good are you? The lieutenant general and the stranger just stared, speechless. Okay, they got it now. For Lord Yi, ugliness is a sin. Clean this up. Yunyi ordered. The deputy general and the foreigner nodded vigorously. After Yunyi left, they started clearing the mess. The stranger stared at the bodies, shocked. Those two were early-stage gold rank. Lord Yi took them out in one shot. He's too strong. The deputy general nodded in agreement. Back at the villa, Yunyi was greeted by Baijishi. Honey, you're back. How did it go? All taken care of. Yunyi replied. That's good. Baijishi nodded, relieved. Little did she know. Taken care of for Yunyi didn't mean what she thought it meant. A moment later, Yunyi eyed Chi Yenhu, then the remaining alien strains. He could head into the jungle for more. Huzi, you know where to find strange plants in the jungle, right? That the question seemed to sting Qi Yanhu, and a look of pain flashed in his eyes as he remembered guarding the mutated dragon fruit. He nodded. Alright, let's hit the jungle. But with that, Yunyi made his plans. Han Bingyu and Han Bingxue, hearing the plan, turned to Yunyi. Honey, can we come with you? Sure. Yunyi had no reason to say no. He wasn't afraid of anything now. The sisters beamed. Han Bingxue started to dash towards Yunyi. Hubby, I want to ride up front. That she didn't make it. Someone grabbed her hand. She turned to see Han Bingyu, a sweet, innocent smile on her face. Sister, I want to ride up front with our husband too. Give me a chance. Han Bingxue just stared. She wanted that too. Being held by Yunyi around the waist was pretty great. Han Bingyu smiled. How about we compete, sis? Winner gets the front seat. She waved her hand generously. You picked the competition. Okay. A split second later, Han Bingxue stood next to Han Bingyu, chest thrust out. How about this? Han Bingyu just stared. What was going on? What were they comparing? Yunyi, confused for a moment, finally caught on. Good one. Tolerance is a virtue. Come on, hop on. Bingo. Suddenly, Han Bingyu understood. Was that it? The competition? Looking at her sister's sudden display, she sighed inwardly. She wasn't exactly flat. How could she compare? Han Bingxue gaped. Oh. Tolerance is a virtue. She was still lost, but she understood. No. She wasn't trying to compete with that. She wanted to compare height. That's it. She glanced at Zhou Huiwei and the others. Zhou Huiwei just grinned and gave her a thumbs up. Han Bingxue gave up. Whatever. As long as she could be with her husband. Everyone climbed onto Red Flame Tiger. Yunyi gave some orders. They needed to take the city's strangers deep into the jungle. The entire nebula barrier buzzed with excitement. Soon, the strangers gathered. Lining up in the city. Their faces glowed with anticipation. This was the first time City Lord Yi had taken them out. Yunyi arrived on Red Flame Tiger. He looked at them. Then waved his hand. Let's go. They surged out of the barrier. Red Flame Tiger was in his element. After a while, guided by his memories, they arrived at the territory of his old rival, the amethyst crocodile. The strangers stared around. I remember. There's an amethyst crocodile around here. A gold stage beast. Lurking in camouflage is its specialty. The words rippled through the crowd. Yunyi looked ahead. He saw the prize. A patch of mutated grapes. The grapes looked similar to those before the apocalypse. But coated in sparkling purple crystals. They glimmered beautifully. Yunyi dismounted and headed straight for the grapes. The moment he reached out to pick one. Roar. A furious roar ripped through the air. A massive crocodile burst from the thick leaf litter below. Its body seemed to glow faintly like amethysts. It shot up from beneath. Its jaws gaped open, lunging for Yunyi. Everyone gasped. No. But. Yunyi whirled and kicked out. Boom. His foot connected with the amethyst crocodile's jaw. The creature went flying, like a rocket propelled by a violent wind. It crashed through countless trees. Chapter 48 Mysterious Girl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The amethyst crocodile slammed into a huge tree, finally stopping its rampage, but the amethysts on its body were shattered. It was lifeless. Zhou Huiwei. Han sisters. Bai Jishi. Other sisters. Wait, what? Honey, you're that strong. One move and you vaporize it. Maybe fighting you every night is playing it safe. Zhou Huiwei and the others exchanged glances. Taking a deep breath, they wouldn't dare complain anymore, except for Sister Bai. None of them could handle that kind of power. They turned to Bai Jishi. Bai Jishi knew exactly what they were thinking. She instantly felt weak in the knees. She couldn't handle it either. She was about the same strength as that crocodile. And they just saw how that turned out, one hit, lights out. She might last 18 moves at most. Surrender. The onlookers were bug-eyed, unable to believe what they'd witnessed. This was the first time they'd seen Yunyi fight like that. Brutal. So brutally efficient. Seeing the scene, the deputy general led some men to the crocodile in the distance. After a moment, they returned, having wrestled the amethyst crocodile out of the tree with great effort. The moment they lifted it, they realized the whole thing was limp and boneless. It was like every bone in its body had been pulverized. The guys carried the crocodile over. Chi Yanhu saw the amethyst crocodile and grinned. Looks like karma's a bitch. Then, a painful memory flashed in its mind. It had been on the receiving end of a Yunyi beatdown once too. Let's roll. Yunyi patted Chi Yanhu on the back, and Chi Yanhu took off. Chi Yanhu, apparently eager to settle some old scores, led Yunyi toward some old rivals. Yunyi ended up profiting quite a bit. Before long, the guys were lugging back numerous corpses. He'd also gathered a number of unique strains. After all, most of these beasts were in the early golden stage. The previous mighty barrier hadn't been strong enough to gather such high-level strains. Most of them were low-level, but now things were looking up. It was more fun being a different person. Turns out following City Lord Yi was this exciting. And it wasn't just tough beasts. They ran into some silver-level beasts along the way. Yunyi just flicked a stone, and the stone killed them instantly. All they had to do was pick up the bodies. It was that simple. With a clear division of labor, things were moving fast. In just a few hours, they had collected so much that their haul was nearly full. Yunyi checked the time and decided it was time to head back. He told them to rest and prepare to leave. Just then, Yunyi noticed something. He stopped short. A bloody handprint was smeared on a tree trunk nearby. There were also splatters of blood on the ground. Huh. Someone was hurt. Yunyi went over and followed the trail. The bloody handprints and stains led off into the distance. After a few moments, he spotted a figure leaning against a tree. The figure was wearing a cloak and dark clothes. On its right arm, there was a huge animal tooth. Bigger than Chi Yanhu's. And it was covered in a faint black light. Looked poisonous. The figure was slumped against the tree, breathing heavily. Its eyes were starting to glaze over. Just as it was about to drift off, it saw a face staring down at it. It startled the figure awake. Yunyi was equally surprised by the reaction. He looked at the animal tooth on its arm. Damn, bitten by a beast. What do you want? A female voice suddenly snapped. It was a woman. Yunyi glanced at her, curious about what she looked like under the mask. Then he shrugged. Probably not that great. After all, if she was a knockout, why hide her face? Seeing Yunyi didn't answer, the girl asked, "Do you have any medicine? I can pay for it." She held out a small pouch and pulled out a crystal core. Yunyi's eyes widened. Whoa. A gold-level crystal core. This woman was loaded. Got medicine. Yunyi snatched the core from her hand, then he eyed the bag, which seemed full of more cores. Gimme. Aya. Before she could finish the sentence, the girl shrieked. Her whole body spasmed in pain. She writhed on the ground. What are you doing? The girl glared at Yunyi, then looked at the animal tooth he'd just ripped out. She was speechless. A little warning would have been nice. She composed herself, then she looked at Yunyi, deciding she was too weak to fight back. Please, just help me. Yunyi grabbed a bottle of medicinal wine from his inventory. He prepared to apply it to her arm. Wait. Will that even work? The girl asked, her voice shaky. Relax, you think I'd lie to you? Doesn't work, no charge. Yunyi assured her. Okay. Yunyi uncorked the bottle, and the potent aroma of the medicinal wine filled the air. The girl went numb for a second. She looked at the wine, remembering the pain from before. This is gonna hurt, isn't it? Yunyi waved dismissively. Nah, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Hearing Yunyi's confident assurance, the girl nodded. He said it didn't hurt, and she was desperate. Worth a shot, right? Let's do it. She nodded. Yunyi poured the medicinal wine over the wound. Ag. Instantly. The girl felt a pain that seared her skin and ripped through her soul. She almost cursed, what was that? What the hell was in that bottle? Yunyi saw her face and understood immediately, he felt terrible. He looked at the medicinal wine, confirmed. This one was going on the banned list. Never using it again. Chapter 49. Learn from the barbarians and learn skills to control the barbarians. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Here, the girl glared at Yunyi, totally pissed. Doesn't it hurt? Seriously? Doesn't anything register? My flesh, my soul, everything is screaming in pain, okay? You call that painless? You have no conscience. That the girl's brain was flooded with a million, what the, thoughts. She fixed Yunyi with a glare, you liar. You said it wouldn't hurt. It's just at first, you'll get used to it. Yunyi said, his face more relaxed. It stings now, but it'll feel better later, huh? Something about that sentence felt off, but right now, she was in too much pain to pinpoint it. Is that supposed to help? That the girl asked, eyeing Yunyi. Not exactly. Here's some medicinal powder. Yunyi flipped his hand over and produced the powder. Okay, go ahead. The girl said, then noticed Yunyi holding out his hand. He was rubbing his thumb and index finger together. The girl's eyes widened. What are you doing? I bought medicinal wine for the crystal core last time, now I need another crystal core for this stuff. Are you raising the price on the spot? The girl accused. Damn. Yunyi blurted out. You think I'm a snake oil salesman? I have some principles, okay? I made this powder myself. Blended it with crystal cores from late-stage silver-level monsters. Plus, rare strains. Add in my top-secret methods and, voila, girl. Fine, shut up and take it, the girl conceded, pulling out another crystal core, another gold-level crystal core. Bingo. Not bad, these really exist. Yunyi prepared to pour the medicinal powder on her wound, powder, bandage, done. Wait, seeing Yunyi's movements, the girl stopped him cold. Tell me the truth, does this powder burn when you put it on? That those 2 blows she'd just taken had really freaked her out. No pain, Yunyi said firmly. Then he grabbed the girl's arm. As she struggled, a butterfly birthmark on her wrist was revealed. Yunyi noticed it, surprised. What are the odds that someone else has a mark like that? Thinking it over, he sprinkled the powder on her wound without hesitation. The next second, the girl's head slammed against a big tree. A wail ripped from her throat. She looked at Yunyi, rage flooding her heart. You dollar at #%. But she knew she was too weak to say anything, so she just raged internally. She thought, how could this stuff hurt so damn bad? This guy. Is he a quack? Instead of healing her, he's just ripping her off. Thinking of these possibilities, the girl glared at Yunyi, wanting to tear him limb from limb. Yunyi saw the girl's expression. Nice. This medicine. It's definitely a banned substance now. Damn, isn't this poetic justice? Yunyi then tore off a piece of the girl's clothes, fashioned it into a bandage, and wrapped her arm. He was too busy to listen to her screaming, money well earned. Well. These days, money is hard to make. Gotta scoot. Having finished up, Yunyi bolted. The girl was left sweating buckets. Watching Yunyi disappear, she cursed him silently. But after a few curses, she ran out of steam. The pain just sent her into oblivion. Meanwhile, Yunyi rejoined the group. Zhou Huiwei had seen Yunyi leave. Honey, what were you doing just now? Just picked up 2 crystal cores. Then, Yunyi opened his hand, revealing 2 gold-level crystal cores. Everyone. Whoa. This is gold-level crystal cores. Like you just plucked them from a tree. Seriously? Where did he get these? How did this happen? They were at a loss for words. He's too good at it. Let's head back. At Yi Yunyi's order, the group turned and started home. A few hours later. Back where the girl was, she slowly regained consciousness. Then, she felt strangely relaxed. She pulled off her mask, now soaked with sweat. Underneath was a face that could launch 1,000 ships. Willow eyebrows, cherry lips, skin like jade. Exquisite features. The kind of beauty you admire from afar. She assessed her condition, and the poison was gone. Then, she unwrapped the bandage Yi Yunyi had made. She examined the arm underneath, seeing that it had been smoothed and restored to its original state. Her eyes widened in disbelief. His medicine actually works that well. Then she understood, this guy is no ordinary dude. He must be an alchemist. No wonder he dared to charge so much. It turns out he had the skills to back it up. If she could bring someone like that back to the organization, that would be a huge accomplishment, but now, because she'd passed out, the chance was gone. Besides, she was still in danger. Move. She focused, feeling that she had regained some strength. She leapt to her feet and flew into the distance. Meanwhile, Yi Yunyi and the others had returned to the nebula barrier. Everyone got to sorting. Yi Yunyi claimed all the high-level crystal cores. The low-level ones were divided up among the others. The strangers were ecstatic. This was a major score for them. After sorting through the monster parts, Yi Yunyi discovered that he could concoct a potion that would heal him quickly. He had all the ingredients. That was fantastic. It would be a lifesaver during the weak period after using Joyo Jinchi. Yi Yunyi got to brewing. A few hours later, a batch of medicine was ready. The entire villa was filled with the fragrance of the potion. Yi Yunyi breathed it in, enjoying the aroma. Then, he started forming the pills. After Yi Yunyi and the others were done, many strangers arrived. The nightly routine was always the same. As soon as they got there, they smelled the medicinal fragrance in the air. They paused, sniffing with blissful expressions. City Lord Yi, what are you making? What are you making that has such an effect? But they knew that these questions were not for them to ask. They sat down to attend the banquet. Yi Yunyi was preparing for his wedding tonight. Tonight. He would marry a blonde beauty. After the banquet, Yi Yunyi took one look at the blonde beauty and carried her into the room. Once inside, he listened to her broken Chinese. Yi Yunyi then said, just speak your language, I like it authentic. After all, it's the same. Oh, yes. Very authentic. Then, the lights went out. Chapter 50 Diamond Early Stage. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, Yi Yunyi woke up next to the blonde. He couldn't help but think about their passionate night. Now he understood the difference between these foreign beauties and the oriental ones. Both had their own charm, and it was a welcome change. He went downstairs, feeling great. Suddenly, a notification popped up. Congratulations to the host for successfully marrying a wife. 20% progress towards creating a level-breaking card has been achieved. Level-breaking card progress. That got Yi Yunyi's attention. He was already in the late golden stage. Breaking through again would put him in the early diamond stage. At this rate, a few more wives and he'd be at 100%. The future looked bright. Congratulations to the host's wife for her successful pregnancy. Reward, 10 bottles of pure divine beast blood. Yi Yunyi examined the reward. Pure blood essence from a god-level beast. Xiao Haizi was already purebred, so it wouldn't need it, but Qianhu might benefit from it. He checked his stats. Name, Yi Yunyi. Height, 185 centimeters. Level, late golden stage. Skills, rapid absorption, god-level hunting skills, second stage of Joyo Chi, god-level movement, second stage of indestructible Vetra. Weapon, tomahawk level 1. Props, 19 god-level alien beast control pills, 10 dead soldier puppets, 10 bottles of god-level alien beast blood essence liquid reward, 20% progress in creating level-breaking cards. Satisfied, Yi Yunyi went outside. He found Zhou Huaiwei and the others feeding Qi Yanhu and Xiao Haizi some god-level animal food. The two were eating like they hadn't seen food in days. Qi Yanhu was being friendly with Zhou Huaiwei and the others. It knew they were its master's wives, its mistresses. It wasn't about to mess that up. Seeing Yunyi, Qi Yanhu immediately lowered its head, acting obedient. Here's a little something extra for you. Yunyi approached Qi Yanhu, took out the pure blood essence, and injected it into the beast. Ouch! Qi Yanhu felt a jolt of pain. It didn't know what Yunyi was doing, but it didn't dare to resist. Gradually, its tiger eyes focused, its entire coat changed, becoming even more fiery red. It looked like it was burning. Qi Yanhu felt incredible, its muscles and bones were changing, and its claws were shifting. It was growing bigger. This time, it looked amazing. Yunyi was pleased with Qi Yanhu's transformation. Qi Yanhu knew Yunyi was helping him. It nudged its massive head against Yunyi. Alright, don't overdo it. Yunyi stopped it from licking him. He didn't want to take another shower. Let's go for a ride. Yunyi hopped onto Qi Yanhu, and the beast took off. It raced through the city streets. With its bloodline purified, the beast's speed had drastically increased. The flaming blur shocked the city's inhabitants. Soon, Yunyi noticed a group of strangers discussing something. He rode Qi Yanhu over. What's going on? City Lord, we found strange beast footprints at our campsite yesterday, and evidence of damage. It feels stronger than anything we've seen before. We can't figure out what kind of beast it is. Yunyi frowned. He decided to check it out himself. He and Qi Yanhu sped towards the location. It didn't take long to arrive. Giant trees were destroyed, either snapped in half or uprooted entirely. The destruction looked like a giant beast had passed through. Yunyi had Qi Yanhu examine the footprints on the ground. The footprints were larger and deeper than Qi Yanhu's. Qi Yanhu's eyes narrowed at the sight of the destruction. Do you know what kind of beast it is? Yunyi asked, patting Qi Yanhu's back. Qi Yanhu roared and shook its head. Yunyi saw the direction the beast had traveled. That direction matched the route of the man in black from yesterday. Poor guy, he probably got trampled. Yunyi clicked his tongue. He should have taken all her crystal nuclei. Now she was probably beast food. Oh well. Yunyi and Qi Yanhu returned to the city. City Lord, how did it go? A stranger asked as Yunyi returned. Yunyi shook his head and ordered, increase patrols. If you see anything suspicious, report it immediately. The message was clear. Yunyi looked back. He couldn't guarantee the beast wouldn't return, so it was better to be careful. For the next 2 nights, Yunyi remained the groom. Within those 2 days, the bonuses from marriage and pregnancy finally pushed his progress to 100%. Yunyi looked at the completed advanced card. He used it. Immediately, a powerful energy flowed into his body. He felt like he was in control of everything. He could control life and death. The surging power made Yunyi's eyes narrow. He checked his light curtain. Name, Yunyi. Height, 185 centimeters. Level, Diamond early stage. Skills, rapid absorption, God-level hunting skills. Second stage of Joyo-Chi, God-level movement. Second stage of indestructible Vajra. Weapon, Tomahawk level 1. Props, 19 God-level alien beast control pills, 10 dead. Soldier puppets, strength, mid-golden stage, 9 bottles of God-level alien beast blood pure liquid reward, diamond early stage. He finally reached the diamond stage. With his skills, Yunyi was more terrifying than ever. He also noticed that his 10 dead soldier puppets had reached the golden stage. It was time to expand his power.